Edgar Allan Poe. A spooky introduction. Edgar Allan Poe was born on January 19, 1809 in Boston, Massachusetts, and died October 7, 1849 in Baltimore, Maryland, under mysterious circumstances. Ooh. Within 3 years of his life, both his parents died. Edgar went to live with his uncle, whom he fought with constantly. He always wanted to be a writer, like his hero, poet Lord Byron. But when his uncle wouldn't pay for his education, Edgar joined the army. While training with the army at West Point, Edgar published his first poem collection, Tamerlane and Other Poems, in 1827. His hope was rekindled, and he left the army to become a poet. Edgar went on to work for several literary magazines and published more poetry and prose, especially short stories. He was well known for his macabre writing style that found death and spooky imagery beautiful. This style made him one of the central figures of the Gothic Romantic art period, a period characterized by dramatic emotions, especially around sadness, fear, and grief. Edgar Allan Poe was wildly successful. He was one of the first American writers to write short stories, and he is considered the inventor of detective fiction. Sherlock Holmes was inspired by his work. He is credited as one of the first writers of science fiction, and he became the first well-known American writer to make a living through writing alone, but because of this, he was pretty poor. Also, he got married at 26 years old to his cousin, who was 13. It isn't right to uphold people of the past to the morals of today, but yes, we can say that this was a little bit out of the ordinary. Virginia Clemm, his wife, died only 11 years after their marriage, and her love and death was said to have inspired much of his work thereafter. Now, Edgar Allan Poe's death is shrouded in mystery. On October 3rd, 1849, Poe was found delirious on the streets of Baltimore, quote, in great distress and in need of immediate assistance, unquote. He was taken to the Washington Medical College, where he died on Sunday, October 7th, 1849. He was not coherent enough for long enough to explain why he was in Baltimore in the first place, or oddly, why he was wearing clothes that were not his own. He is said to have repeatedly called out the name Reynolds, though it is unclear to whom he was referring. All medical records have been lost, including his death certificate, so it's no surprise that the actual cause of death and his whole death itself remains a mystery. Beyond his death, Edgar Allan Poe's stories and poems are still widely read and loved today. He changed the literary world forever. Oh, and also, one trend among imitators of Poe have been claims by clairvoyants or psychics to be channeling poems from Poe's spirit beyond the grave. One of the most notable of these was Lizzie Doughton, who published Poems from the Inner Life in 1863, in which she claimed to have received new compositions by Poe's spirits. Safe to say, Poe has been beyond influential.